Hey guys, my name is ORGANICALLY and welcome back to my channel where I make God known in all that I do. So in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys a few tips on how to grow your type 4 hair, okay? So if you'd like to know more about that, then I suggest that you do keep watching and that you watch till the end, yeah? But before we do get into that, as a standard procedure, if you do enjoy this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below and subscribe to my channel if you haven't as of yet. And it doesn't end there, just one more thing. When you do click on the subscribe button, please do not forget to click on the notifications bar as well so that you can be notified whenever I post another video. But now that that's out the way, let's get straight into this video, okay? Let's spill the beans. Okay, so I am going to be using my phone. So I have written down a few points for this video just to make sure that it's not all over the place. So right now I'm in my notes app and my memo, whatever you would like to call it, and I have 12 points, yes, for you guys. Let me show you. I hope it's focusing, but those are the 12 points that are going to give us basically direction for this video. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so before I do get into giving the tips on how to grow your hair, I just want to give you guys a very brief backstory. So I have been natural for 5 years and counting. So this year in June or July, that will mark me being natural for 6 years. I transitioned from relaxed hair to natural hair in June of 2017, so when I was 15 years old. So just to extend it just a little bit, from 2017 to 2020, so that was from like grade 9 to matric when I was in school, I wouldn't necessarily say that I had a routine for my natural hair, and I would not say that I was treating my hair well. I would just moisturize it whenever I want to, wash it whenever I want to, pull it, manipulate it, all of that terrible stuff. But it was only from 2021, so when I left school and I had more time for my hair, and I was more like, I don't even know how to describe it, but just know that 2021, after like the first year after high school, that is when I started taking care of my hair properly and actually developed like a routine. Yes, came up with a routine for my natural hair, like a systematic way of doing things. Okay, so let's get straight into the tips. So as I said, there are 12 points. So the first point that we have over here is prayer. And for me, this is standard procedure. As a child of God, as a Christian, I feel like God needs to be involved in every single thing. That is literally the slogan or whatever of my channel, making God known in all that I do. So this is me just letting you guys know that I feel like when you would like for something to happen in your life, the first thing that you need to do is pray. So pray to God about it, and in so doing, He will reveal to you certain things that you can do. And I feel like that's exactly what happened for me. So when I left high school, my hair was in a very, very bad state because for like around about 4 to 5 years, I had been manipulating it, I had been neglecting it and all of that bad stuff. So by the end of high school, so when it was like 2021, my first year out of high school, I felt very discouraged about my hair, because especially in matric, because I didn't like have time to like deal with my hair because of all the stress that came from like studying, etc., etc. I put my hair through a lot, guys. I was changing hairstyles every 2 weeks. I was not washing my hair, I was not moisturizing it. It was just terrible. It was really bad. So when 2021 came, let me not even say 2021, from like late 2020 to early 2021, I had contemplated cutting my hair because I just felt like it was in a very bad state, and that state couldn't like kind of be reversed, do you get me? But a voice inside of me, I feel like it was the Holy Spirit, told me to just try as best as I can to see if I can like bring it back, like bring my hair back to a good state, and before making such a decision. So I literally prayed to God and I asked Him to like help me to figure out what I can do to my hair to help take care of it better, and to restore its strength, to restore its volume, to restore its health, to just make sure it's a proper afro again, because it was thinning, it was just dry, it was frizzled, it was like really bad, it was literally damaged. So in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's 2021 if my memory serves me correctly, I decided to stop braiding altogether because I felt like I had been manipulating my hair for a very long time, and because I was at home most of the time, I didn't feel the need to braid my hair. So in the first month of why am I drifting? This is about prayer, but I'm drifting. Oh my goodness. So the first, I feel like the first place that you should start with is prayer, because you guys need to understand that you can pray to God about everything, whether you think it's insignificant or significant, whether it's big or small. You can literally pray to God about everything, because you need to remember that He is a loving God. He loves us and He's got our best interest at heart. Everything that we care about, He cares about, and it also works the opposite way. Everything that He cares about, we should care about as well. So I prayed to God about my hair, and I asked Him how I can just restore it and like just revive it and make it healthy again. And I feel like that is how I was able to like come up with or develop my routine, which produced immense like results and just restored my hair altogether. Like it restored the volume, the health, the length, everything. Like it's been working. Like my hair has been growing this entire time, because when I was in high school it would grow and then it would shrink again. Like I was not retaining length. Do you get me? So the point that I'm basically trying to make is pray to God about your hair. If you feel like your hair is not where you'd like for it to be and you feel stuck or you don't know what to do, then definitely pray to God about it. Even if you have like a condition or anything, pray to God about it, and I promise you He will in some way or another tell you exactly what it is that you should do. Yes. So the first thing you should do, the standard procedure, is go to God, go to your Father in heaven and pray to Him about it. Because prayer, guys, I cannot emphasize enough just how many things prayer changes. Prayer does work. So this, you see what you see right here. Everything in this video was a result of prayer. That is where I started. I prayed to God about it, and He revealed to me everything that I needed to do and not to do in order for my hair to like grow and be in a good state altogether. So my boy or my girl, sis or nigga, pray about it. Yes, definitely pray about it. That's where you should start. Pray about it. The second thing on my list, on my tough list of things that you should do or to consider or look at when you'd like to like grow your hair is genetics. So for me, I have very, very, very strong hair genes because my father has strong hair genes and my mom also has strong hair genes. So obviously I have very strong hair genes. So in high school, I'm going to keep referring back to high school because that's a bad example of how to take care of your hair. And now after high school is a good example of how to take care of your hair, and I'm actually glad that happened because I don't feel like I would have had this much experience and knowledge of hair as a whole if that didn't happen, because now I can compare and tell you guys what to do and also what not to do, because that's equally important. So in high school, despite me not having a routine and a systematic way of doing things, and despite me mistreating my hair, manipulating it, not moisturizing it, neglecting it, and all of that bad stuff, my hair was still growing. So I would get compliments from a lot of people. Like people would be like, wow, your hair's long. Like people didn't see that it was damaged, that it was actually suffering, because my genetics, yes, my hair genes are so strong. So that's the first thing that you should start at. And basically what that's going to do is, it's not meant to discourage you, it's just meant to help you to understand your hair as a whole better. And I feel like, especially when it comes to genetics, you shouldn't compare yourself. This is the one reason why you shouldn't compare yourself to other people, because we exist as individuals. We're all different. We all come from different family lines, etc., etc. We all have different parents. We all have different genetics. So you can't, as Katleho, compare your hair to Mampo's hair, because Mampo has different genes than yours. Do you get me? Your hair might take 1 year to grow to this and this length, and Mampo's hair might take twice more the time to grow to that same length, or it might get there faster. Do you get me? Because we all have different genetics. So understanding your genetics will help you to understand your hair better, like as a whole. The point that I wanted to make is, it doesn't matter whether you have strong genes, genes that are okay, or genes that are like, I don't know, less stronger, for a lack of better words. For me, it's like, it doesn't matter how long it takes us to get to the same journey, as long as at the end of the day, we all get there. Do you get me? So it can take someone 5 years to get their hair to like shoulder length, and it can take another 10 years. But at the end of the day, they're both going to get there. Do you get me? That is why you shouldn't compare. Even if your hair takes a lot slower to grow than other people, it's still growing. Do you get me? So you should appreciate that. Never compare your hair to anyone else's, and understand your genetics so you can understand your hair better. Okay, so the third point that I have over here is routine/regimen. That is the same word, but yeah, it's whatever. So this is, I feel like, one of the most important, other than prayer, this is one of the most important, guys. I cannot emphasize this enough. If you don't take anything out of this video, you should take this. You should have a routine or regimen for your hair, guys. It is impossible for your hair to retain length. It can grow, yes, but it's impossible for your hair to retain length and get to where you want it to be, or faster rather, if you don't have a routine or a regimen. That is basically a systematic way of doing things. So as opposed to just saying you're gonna moisturize your hair whenever you want to, or wash your hair whenever you feel like it's dirty, you must have like a routine. Say that for example, you're gonna wash your hair twice a month, specifically on the 15th and on the 30th. You're gonna moisturize your hair 3 times a week, on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. So you should have a routine or regimen, like a systematic way of dealing with and keeping track of your hair. Okay, so the fourth point that I have, and this is in relation with the third point, which is the routine and regimen, is natural hair update. Guys, this is very, 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 very important. So I have what I call a natural hair update. It's basically like an update which helps me to keep track of my hair and everything that consisted, which I write down in my notes on my phone. I will put a screenshot either over here or over here of my natural hair update. So that is what it does. Basically what's on there is my protective styles, when I braided my protective styles, how long I kept my protective styles for, months at which I should trim my hair, when is the next wash day, when was the last wash day. Like, it just helps me to keep track of my hair and gives me like a systematic or a more orderly way of organizing or dealing with my hair as a whole. And guys, I started this in June of 2021, if my memory serves me correctly. And guys, I cannot emphasize just how much results it has yielded. Like, it has yielded an immense result in terms of like specifically retaining length. Guys, it helped so much. So much. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the fifth point on how to like grow your natural hair or grow your type 4 hair is protective styles. Guys, protective styles can either be your hair's friend or your hair's enemy, depending on what protective style you use. I think there's a misconception, because I remember looking at someone's story and they basically talked about how it's not emphasized enough just how much protective styles put so much tension on our hairline. But that's the thing, I feel like it's lack of information. Yes, protective styles can either grow your hair or cause hair loss. What your protective style does for your hair depends on which protective styles you go for. The best protective styles to do on type 4 hair is anything that involves your natural hair. So your mini twist, your mini braids, your cornrows with your hair, all of that stuff. So anything that involves braiding or twisting your natural hair without adding any extensions. Because the moment that extensions comes into the picture, that is where manipulation and tension, etc., is bound to exist. Do you get me? So for me, if you're the type of person like me, I don't really like rocking my natural hair. I don't know what in the heck I was saying, y'all. I absolutely love rocking my natural hair. Don't get me wrong, but I love rocking braided hairstyles too. So that's it. Let's get back to the video, okay? Period. I'm a bit extra like that. I like things like that. I'm a hairstylist. I'm not only a natural hair enthusiast, but I'm a hairstylist as well. So I love braiding my hair. And I feel like all girls, you don't always want to be in your natural hair. So the protective hairstyle that works the best for me is knotless braids. And it's not necessarily limited to knotless braids, but basically using the knotless method or the feed-in method in whatever hairstyle that you're doing. So be it twist or be it braids. Knotless braids has, guys, little to no manipulation. That's what it does to your hair. It has little to no manipulation. Believe me when I say that. When literally every single time when I braid my hair and I do knotless braids, I feel little, very, very little to no pain. Whereas when I used to do the traditional knot braids, I would feel excruciating pain on my scalp. Like, I could feel the tension. Sometimes I couldn't even sleep. Like, I'm sure we can all relate to it. So it's not protective hairstyles as a whole that can help or damage your hair. It's which protective styles that you choose to do. So if you were to take my advice, I would strongly advise and recommend that you do knotless braids, or that knotless braids becomes your go-to. It's so close. So I would highly recommend that knotless braids is your go-to because it provides little to no manipulation, guys. Okay, so y'all, I forgot to add something very crucial when it comes to protective styles. So I like to keep my protective styles for exactly a month. So if I braided my hair on the 19th of August, then I'm going to take it down exactly a month later, so on the 19th of September. This helps me retain length since I'm not touching my hair for exactly a month and I'm not frequently changing hairstyles. So I'm just allowing my hair to just grow without interrupting the whole growth process. And I would highly recommend that you don't keep your hairstyles for longer than a month, because I feel like if you keep it for longer than that, then the product buildup is just going to cause your hair to mat and you're not going to retain the length that you want to. But again, it's up to you, but I like to just keep it for a month. Believe me when I say that. Okay, so the 6th point that I have over here is moisturizing. So I'm going to use the example of high school again. In high school, I would moisturize my hair whenever there is anything at home to moisturize with. Like, I would literally take anything, whether it's hair food, whatever, and I'd moisturize my hair whenever I feel like it. I wouldn't have like a systematic way of like moisturizing my hair. I think initially, in my beginning, in my first year of being natural, I used to moisturize my hair, I think, every day. But as the years continue to like progress, I fell off from doing that, and I would literally moisturize my hair, I kid you not, whenever I felt like it. So now I moisturize my hair 3 times a week. So I moisturize my hair specifically on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So this is how I moisturize my hair. I moisturize my hair using a DIY spray. So that's a spray that I make myself. I'm gonna go and fetch it right now. So that's a spray I actually make myself, and what it comprises of, or what it consists of rather, is water as well as 2 tablespoons of amla oil. So you can use whatever oil you prefer. I started with amla oil because I just remember using amla oil when I was young. So that is the only reason why I used amla oil, maybe because it was like the cheapest in the store, I don't know. But I started out by using amla oil. Any oil of your choice will work. So I use water and I use oil. And you can go on to also use leave-in conditioner or cream. Yeah, once you're done, or once your hair has dried after you put on the DIY spray. So what I basically do is, when I have braids, because most of the time my hair's in a protective style, so when I have braids, I will literally go through each and every single row and spray the DIY mixture on my hair, and then basically massage it into my scalp, so in circular motion. That's what I'll do, and I'll do that for each and every single row. That's basically how I moisturize my hair. So basically what that does is, the water adds hydration to your hair, which is necessary for your hair to grow. Your hair cannot grow without water, obviously, and the oil seals in moisture. That's why I say you should also use leave-in conditioner or cream to add moisture itself, but I just use water and oil. Guys, I'm going to be extremely honest with you and extremely blunt with you. I do not spend much money on my hair, so for me, I use water and oil, and that works for me. But I feel like you should go the extra mile if it's within your budget, and if you have the money to do that, then I suggest that you should also add moisture to your hair by using leave-in conditioner, not just conditioner, no, leave-in conditioner or cream of your choice, any of your choice, yeah, to basically add moisture. Okay, so the 7th tip, or the 7th point on how to grow type 4 hair is washing. Obviously your hair needs to be clean, because this is what happens when your hair is not clean. When your hair is not clean, because you're putting products on it the whole time, and because of the environment, etc., they especially in terms of products, there becomes like a product buildup at the pores of your hair, and what that basically does is it blocks your pores, or it clogs your pores, and ultimately causes your hair to grow slower. So if you'd like your hair to grow faster, then I suggest that you wash it. And for me, I would highly recommend that you wash your hair every 2 weeks. So for me, I wash my hair twice a month, or I try to, at least. I've been falling off, but I try to wash my hair twice a month. So basically I try to wash my hair on the 15th and on the 30th, because I feel like that way it is kind of like evenly spread out. I also want to add that you shouldn't wash your hair too often, because what that does is it strips your hair of its natural oils. But obviously you shouldn't wash your hair too less also, because if you do, then it's gonna slow down the rate at which your hair grows, since it's gonna clog your pores. So I wash my hair, and to go in detail, guys, I do not use shampoo. This is my routine or regimen for now, but once I elevate in life and I start putting more money into like my hair as a whole, I will give you guys an update. I use Sunlight. You see the Sunlight green bar soap, you see that button? Yes, that's what I use to wash my hair. And the reason why I do that is because I just don't trust the shampoos my mom brings. Like, I just don't trust that. I don't know if it's that, or I don't trust shampoos as a whole, but I feel like I refuse to use a shampoo on my hair until I get to a point where I'm able to buy that shampoo myself. And also, I'm not entirely sure about the reasons why girls who are natural don't use shampoo with sulfate, but from most of the natural tips that I have seen from natural hair enthusiasts with like beautiful and gorgeous hair, they suggest or they advise not to use shampoos that contain sulfate. Yes, I will do my research and probably insert a screenshot as to what Google says about it, or maybe what I see on YouTube about it, because I am going to do my research after that. But I think that just threw me off, like, from shampoos as a whole. So I personally use Sunlight Green Bar Soap. I don't think shampoo is bad. I think I'm accustomed to using Sunlight soap now. Initially, I used it because that's within my budget. That was what I could afford. But now I'm so used to using it that I just refuse to let it go. Do you get me? So that is what I use to wash my hair. Again, guys, I do want to emphasize that this is what works for my hair personally. This is my personal knowledge and experience of hair as a whole, and what works for me personally. What works for me will not always work for the next person, but I will just give you guys the tips just in case it does actually work for you if you put it to practice. So if you disagree, then that's okay. This is just what I do for my hair and what I find works for my hair, like mine personally. Okay, the eighth tip, why does that sound so weird? The eighth tip on how to grow type 4 hair is heating tools. This is the antagonist. Let me just say that this is the antagonist in this video. So I wanted to speak on heating tools. Guys, ever since I have been natural, I can count with my fingers. It doesn't even take me 2 fingers to count how many times I have blow dried my hair or used any heat on my hair. I remember the first time that I used heat on my hair in the 6 years that I've been natural was in 2017, so when I was 15 years old, and that was while my hair was still dry. So I only used it for a short fraction of time. The only reason why I used that is because at that time I was not so informed about my hair, so I lacked a lot of information on how to take care of my hair. That was the only reason why I used it, and as I said, I only used it for a short period of time. Like, I literally barely had the blow dryer in, and I don't feel like it worked because my hair was not wet. The second time that I used the blow dryer on my hair was in 2020, if I'm not mistaken, if my memory serves me correctly, 2020. And it was not me, it was actually my friend who had suggested it. My friend at that time who had suggested that I blow dried my hair. And again, my hair was not wet, it was dry, and we didn't keep the blow dryer on it for too long. But I would strongly, guys, if there's anything you don't take from this, it's this. I would strongly advise that you don't use heating tools on your hair at all. But if you do want to do that, because at the end of the day, it is your hair and I don't have a say in it, if you do, I would strongly advise that you put a heat protectant on it first. And if your hair dryer has 3 levels of heat, I would suggest you keep it at 2, so it's not too harsh for your hair. But I would suggest skipping the heating tools as a whole. So what I basically do is I wash my hair in twists. I'm going to have a whole wash day routine later on in the future and go in depth about that. But I wash my hair in twist, and basically what that does is it minimizes the shrinkage, so it makes it easier for me to work with my hair afterwards. And also it helps me to wash my hair more thoroughly, because now there's sections to work with, right? There's a lot of sections that you can actually run the shampoo through your scalp with, because your hair is in twist. So when I am done washing my hair, I undo the twist and I run the water through my hair to just make sure that the soap that could have gotten in between the twist gets out, or like is completely rinsed out. And once I'm done doing that and I put the conditioner in, I literally braid my hair directly after washing it while it's wet, and I let it air dry. I feel like that's the best thing that you can do for your hair, because guys, heating tools are so harsh on type 4 hair, guys. They are very, very harsh. Your heat, guys, heat damages hair. I won't even lie to you. If I were to be brutally honest, I would tell you now, heat does damage hair. It's way too harsh for your hair, guys. It's no. I would suggest skipping and cutting the heating tools out of your hair completely. Whether it's a hair dryer, a blow dryer, I'm sure that's the same thing, but it's fine. A straightener, I say skip it, girl. But I say if you do want to do that, then at least put some heat protectant on your hair before you actually do that, and try to keep the heat at 2. Yeah, at a mid-level. Okay, so the 9th tip on how to grow type 4 hair, and the 9th tip on my list is trimming. Trimming is as equally important. So what trimming basically is cutting the single strands. Very important. Don't cut your hair, like your proper hair, the healthy hair. It's the single strands right at the end of your hair. What that basically is dry, brittle, dead hair. Yeah, it's hair that you don't need anymore. So that is what trimming does. It basically cuts the single strands on the tips of your hair, at the ends of your hair, and ultimately it also gives your afro a more fuller look. The reason behind hair that looks transparent, like hair that you can actually, like, you know, when someone has an afro and you can actually see through it, no offense, is because a person does not take the time to trim their ends. So the best way to trim your ends is to trim them while they're in twists. So put your entire hair into mini twist and trim only the single strands. So I do feel like trimming your ends is important in order to make sure that your hair looks a lot more healthier. Yeah, and fuller. Okay, so the 10th tip or the 10th point that I have here that will help you to grow your type 4 hair is combing. Guys, this is another antagonist. This is another enemy on our list. The last time I combed my hair was in January last year, January the 23rd last year. That was literally the last time I combed out my hair, and that was only because I wanted to take pictures in it and I wanted to like see just how much it has grown. But I would strongly advise that you don't comb your hair. I literally, guys, whenever my natural hair is out, I either detangle my hair using my fingers, or I rock braid outs or twist outs. I literally don't use a comb on my hair because a comb, like heating tools, is another thing that is very harsh on type 4 hair, especially if you're combing your hair every single day. It's too harsh on your hair in the sense that you're basically pulling your hair, and that can force healthy hair out. It's just really abrupt, and I would strongly advise against it. So I say rock twist outs, rock braid outs, rock bantu knot outs. Use your fingers to detangle your hair. If you'd like length retention, then combing is not going to give it to you. I used to literally comb my hair every single day when going to school, and it would come out like every single day. And what's worse is when I would comb my hair, I would comb my dry hair. So child, you can just imagine how much hair I was losing. And in terms of detangling, there is something I wanted to make sure that you guys know. When you do detangle your hair, you should make sure that you detangle your hair while it is moisturized. So while you have put the water, the oil, and the cream. So you must only detangle your hair while it's moisturized, because again, hair breaks off easily when it's dry. So if you detangle your hair while it's dry, it's gonna break off. But if you detangle it while it's moisturized, it is less likely to break off. Do you get me? Or it's going to minimize breakage as a whole. Because a lot of the times when we see our hair coming out, when we're dealing with it, we think it's a bad thing, but that's actually dead hairs. If it's not excessive, then it's your dead hairs which have to fall off. But if it is excessive, then you're breaking off hair that's not supposed to be broken off. Do you get me? Yeah, hair that's not supposed to come out, if that makes any sense. Okay, so the next point on our list, which is point number 11, or the 11th point, is pulling, manipulation, and tension. So I basically like to put it in one category. I feel like it's just different words for the same thing. So what that basically means is anything that involves pulling your hair, or just, a lot of, I don't know if that makes any sense. Pulling your hair or manipulating it or causing tension on your scalp, guys. Can we please avoid that at all costs, guys? Our hair is very sensitive, and let me not say hair, but let me be more specific and say our scalp is more sensitive. So if you're constantly pulling your hair or constantly doing protective hairstyles or hairstyles with your natural hair that causes manipulation on your hair or tension on your scalp, it is gonna affect the rate at which your hair grows. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna break off healthy hair that's not supposed to come out, and the tension and manipulation and pulling can also have a long-term effect. So what that basically means is there are conditions such as, the only one that I'm familiar with is traction alopecia. That condition is basically when your hair gets damaged because of years or a long amount of time that it has experienced like pulling, manipulation, tension, etc., etc. So that affects the rate at which your hair grows, and sometimes it can cause like permanent like hair loss. Do you get me? So I would advise not to pull. Guys, make sure that your hair is not tight. If you're doing a protective hairstyle, again, I said knotless braids is the best one to do, because in doing knotless braids, it's going to look fresh so that your protective style can last longer without getting old too fast, but it's not going to pull your hair to the point that it's detrimental for your hair. Do you get me? Also to go in more in depth and give you guys a lot more information in terms of that, and to be a lot more specific or precise, hairstyles like a high puff. If you don't know what a high puff is, I will insert a picture over here. A high puff is basically when you do an updo, so tie an updo with your natural hair. Hairstyles like that can cause a lot of manipulation and tension on your scalp and on your hair as a whole, especially to your hairline. So that is literally what I used to do in high school. Whenever my natural hair was out, I'd literally put my hair in an updo. An updo was my go-to, and even worse, I would make that updo extremely tight. So my hairline is still suffering the consequences, I believe, thereof. Do you get me? So you need to make sure that when you do natural hairstyles, if you do an updo, because it is cute, you must make sure that you do it loose. So it mustn't be, I wouldn't even say too tight, just make sure that it's loose. And obviously, when you do protective hairstyles, do knotless braids as opposed to traditional braids. Whatever your protective hairstyle is, make sure that you're not pulling your protective hairstyle when you're trying to style it each day. Because that was literally what I'd do. I'd have traditional braids, which is already manipulating enough. And then on top of that, I would change my hairstyle every single day, which is okay. But those hairstyles, each and every single one of those hairstyles were extremely tight. Extremely tight. And on top of that, I put gel on my hair, and I put gel on dry hair, which isn't moisturized. So you can just imagine how much hair was being lost, especially from my hairline. So don't pull your hair at all. Like, don't do it at all. Your hair should never be tight. Okay, so the 12th and the last point on how to grow type 4 hair, or the last point of this video, is products. So products as a whole. I remember when I would post like pictures of my natural hair when I was in high school on IG, I would get, or even on Facebook, I'd get a lot of questions from people asking me what products do I use. I think there's a misconception, for a lack of better words, that comes with products as a whole. Guys, you cannot expect products to be the sole reason or the sole determining factor or driving factor as to like how fast your hair grows, or how your hair grows, or hair growth like as a whole. Products, I will say products help you to take care of your hair better and give your hair the nutrients and the moisture, etc that it needs. But you cannot expect products in itself to work for your hair, because let me tell you something, you could be putting all the right products on your hair consistently but still not be seeing the results that you'd like to see in terms of hair growth, because you don't have a proper routine. Do you get me? So products do help to take care of your hair, and obviously you do need products, but they're not the sole contributing factor for your hair growth. Yes. And also I'd like to emphasize, since we're in the neighborhood, gel, guys, gel. Oh my goodness, gel. Gel is something I struggle with. Being a natural hair enthusiast as well as a hairstylist at heart, like I'm just hairs at my core. I loved doing different hairstyles in high school. So, and I also loved laying my edges. Like, I was the edges queen, okay? Don't tell me anything. So I'd literally put gel on my hair every single day. And I feel like that's okay as long as, so provided you use a minimal amount of gel. So try not to use too much gel, and make sure that when you do put gel on your hair, specifically on your hairline, that your hair is not tight and your hair is not dry as well. So what I'm basically trying to say is, yes, it's okay to use gel, but just make sure that you're using a minimal amount of gel, and just make sure that when you are using gel, your hair is properly moisturized, so it's not dry, and your hair is not tight. Yes, so it's not in a hairstyle that is tight, because that's going to cause your hair to come out. You need to make sure that when your day is over, so at night, you remove that gel. So what I use to remove gel is just water. So I take my toothbrush and I rinse it like with water, and I just go over my edges and remove them. I see a lot of people that use like gel, and on top of that they use also like a hard bristle like brush as well to like do all of those cute hairstyles, and I feel like that's okay, but you should make sure that you don't do that too often, or when you do, don't be so harsh with it, don't be so rough with it. Like, be gentle with your hair, guys. Make sure that you're always dealing with your hair, especially your hairline, because that is the most sensitive part of our hair. Make sure that you're just dealing with it very gently, because it is very delicate and very sensitive. Okay, so y'all, that marks the end of today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed shooting it. Again, if you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't as of yet. Also, click on the notifications bell so that you can be notified whenever I do post another video. But that is it from me today. I love you all so much, and may God bless each and every single one of y'all. I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.